He's young, he's friendly, he's environmentally aware. Or at least he seems that way. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau likes to present himself as nature's ally. At the beginning, not a step out of line. When Justin Trudeau appeared at the major climate change conference in Paris, activists hailed their new hero.
Our government is making climate change a top priority. Canada is back, my good friends.
No sign of climate skeptics in his entourage, speeches that address the environment. But it wasn't long before the leader began to lose his shine.
He has betrayed every one of the things that he committed to in Paris. I guess the lesson is that we shouldn't be fooled by good-looking liberals, no matter how well-spoken they are.
Justin Trudeau also happens to be someone who received an award for his leadership on energy and the environment. It's just it came from the fossil fuel industry.
No country would find 173 billion barrels of oil in the ground and just leave them there.
Let's zoom in a little closer. Since being appointed, the popular leader has given the green light to several major projects. The Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion, oil capacity to triple between now and 2019. If you ask Greenpeace, it'll be the equivalent of an additional 3 million cars on the road each year. The Enbridge Line 3, another pipeline roughly doubling capacity and an extra 5 million cars on the road. And finally, Justin Trudeau also supports the highly divisive Keystone XL pipeline. It was blocked by Barack Obama, then revived by Donald Trump, a project worth $8 billion US. So if all these projects see the light of day, let's do the math. Canada will go from 4 million barrels of oil per day at the moment to more than 6 million barrels in 2040. The Canadian oil industry, it seems, has some bright days ahead. So will Justin Trudeau be a man of unfulfilled promises? To better understand, it's worth taking a look back at where he picked up the baton, because on environmental issues, Justin Trudeau was starting from scratch. His predecessor, Stephen Harper, gave his all to exploiting tar sands, the most polluting oil to extract and the most polluting to refine, an industry living in a golden era.
No country is going to take actions that are going to deliberately destroy jobs and growth in their country. We are just a little more frank about that, but that is the approach that every country is seeking.
It was also Stephen Harper who withdrew Canada from the Kyoto Protocol. And while he did pledge to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 30% compared to 2005 levels, he never outlined how, so little was done. Enter Justin Trudeau with promises of raising Canada's climate status, only to adopt the emission objectives of his predecessor. Safe to say the new leader is stuck between a rock and a hard place. His country is extremely dependent on fossil fuels. Its citizens are among the largest consumers of energy in the world, 4 times the global average. Justin Trudeau does, however, have a strategy. Extract and sell the natural resources on the one hand while curbing emissions on the other. A foot in both camps. In the environmental corner, he has made some progress, with plans to phase out coal-fired electricity by 2030, introduce a price on carbon from 2018, and spend $3.5 billion on public transport over the next decade. If we look at the glass as half full, compared to 5 years ago, Trudeau's Canada is advancing. The glass half empty, it's not nearly enough. Canada won't meet its international promises. Here are the pledges in green, the projections in black. Compared to the 2030 objective, Canada will miss the target by 42%. So how does one reach an equilibrium? Can Justin Trudeau bat for both teams?
I think he has little choice. He has to, at the same time, pursue aggressive consumption reduction goals within Canada, within the commercial sector and the residential sector. So, and at the same time, he has to be relatively friendly with the oil industry because he cannot afford to turn his back on Alberta and the oil producers. These seems to be contradictory goals, but in the end, they're not, because the real way of reducing greenhouse gases is to make consumers use less oil products. And this is the key for the fight against climate change. And on that aspect, Justin Trudeau is taking some steps. Probably not enough, but still some interesting steps. At this point, we can almost say Canadians are hypocrites because they want to be seen as environmentally friendly, but their own consumption at the individual level is extremely high, and we are extremely high emitters of greenhouse gases. So saying no to pipelines will do nothing to change our behavior, change our cars, change our oil consumption, and there's a lot of work to do at that level.
Nevertheless, Justin Trudeau is persisting with his environmentally friendly discourse. When President Donald Trump announced he was withdrawing the US from the Paris climate deal, the Canadian leader was quick to describe it as disappointing, assuring the world that his country would remain committed to the global cause.